I'm gonna beat you into the living death.
Welcome back to Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts, the show where I yell about mixed martial arts. Last weekend, UFC Vegas 84 took place, with Johnny Walker and Magomed Ankalaev finishing the fight that they had started in the desert of Abu Dhabi at UFC 294 last October. I didn't get to see it live, however, because I was in a desert of boredom known as Danbury, Connecticut, attending my cousin Jerry's wedding. So thank you, Jerry, you perpetual burden upon this family, for making me miss the first UFC event of 2024 so I could drag my poor mother 1,100 miles to watch you put another ring on another annoying bimbo. If getting married was bowling, you just rolled a turkey, and I'm sure the third time's the charm. Yes, instead of live streaming with Vitz King and watching MMA, the only thing I even remotely enjoy in life, I was listening to a German accordion player covering Higher Love by Steve Winwood and staring blankly past the all-you-can-eat venison buffet. Well, yeah, it was a 12-point buck, and I also bagged a dough too. Wow, no one fucking cares. No one likes venison, Jerry. Jerry with a fucking G. God, it's a mystery how you don't have friends. Well, anyway, it was an unfortunate event to miss seeing live because it was actually a pretty decent little bottle rocket of a card to get the year started. There were some nice finishes on the prelims from the likes of Joshua Van, Nicholas Mata, Gian Silva, and Marcus McGee. Always love watching that guy fight. And the main card had your first fight of the year contender in Mario Bautista versus Ricky Simone, who I want to see run it back like Pantoja and Moreno, solely because of what a joy it was to witness. With no doctors within a 500-mile radius of the octagon, Walker and Ankalaev were actually allowed to fight to a conclusion, with Johnny Walker receiving a second-round broken nose KO delivered directly from Dagestan. In the co-main, the ageless wonder Jim Miller got a submission win, respecting his opponent in victory while simultaneously telling Father Time to go fuck himself. It's now confirmed that Jim Miller will be fighting King Bobby Green at UFC 300, making him the only fighter in UFC history to fight at UFC 100, 200, and 300. I would have preferred him versus Matt Brown, but either way, Jim Miller is breathing rarefied air as the UFC's Iron Man, having the most fights in the organization, the most wins in the organization, and the most wins in the lightweight division. As much as I like Bobby Green and want to see him bounce back from that near murder he was subjected to by referee Kerry Hatley via Jalen Turner, rooting for Jim Miller is the law in this house as he continues to kick ass on the way to earning the Randy Couture Award for baddest dinosaur still roaming the earth now that Glover Teixeira is retired. You know where Glover Teixeira retired to? Danbury fucking Connecticut. His gym was 4.6 miles from the venue. I fucking hate you, Jerry! You and your model trains. In other news, the lineups for UFC 299 and UFC 300 are currently the talk of the MMA world, which is perplexing considering how little of a shit I give about most of the fights currently announced for either card. From 299's Sean O'Malley Vanity Revenge fight with Chito Vera, to Gilbert Burns versus Jack Della Maddalena, and Mateusz Gamrot versus Rafael Dos Anjos, who the fuck cares? That shit is happening just down the road for me. You think I'm paying $1,000 for that? The most exciting fight currently on 300 is Zhang Weilei versus Yan Xiaonan. It's a rare day that I side with the Saudi Arabian government, but for fuck's sake, UFC, do better. I'm not saying that these fights don't have the potential to be entertaining, but as far as moving the needle in the sport, they don't draw water in the slightest. And as such, if I haven't made myself clear, I don't care! A few potentially worthwhile fights to keep an eye on between the two events would be the just announced Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway fight for the pointless BMF belt, Dustin Poirier versus Benoit Saint Denis, Song Yadong versus Petr Yan, and Kevin Holland versus Michael Venom Page, who comes over from Bellator to make his UFC debut. Speaking of the recently purchased Bellator, their new owners at the PFL have just announced their PFL versus Bellator Battle of Champions event. What a fantastic way to solidify the merger of two promotions that no one seems to care about into one giant organization that even fewer people care about. With all this questionable money that the PFL has in its coffers and Francis Ngannou under contract, I truly hope they continue to throw money at fighters until they can put together a card that delivers in a major way. Because sadly, unless this new beefed up PFL also beefs up their talent roster considerably, it would seem that in terms of challenges to the UFC's dominance in the world of MMA, there can be only one. I guess it's still early in the year, so we're still waiting for some actual news to happen, aside from Tyron Woodley face planting a pink taco, and Nina Drama wanting to oil up Dana White, two things that no person on the planet has ever asked for or wanted to see. So until something actually newsworthy occurs, this is Thinker St. James reminding you that if you care this much about MMA, you too are a fucking moron. Just like my dumb fuck cousin Jerry, who needs to stop inviting me to things. Stop insisting on family gatherings, Jerry. We all fucking hate each other, and I promise you can't afford a fourth wedding. The only silver lining for you is that when the divorce happens, you have nothing left for this new bobblehead wife of yours to take, and if she goes after 30% of your pet iguana, at least you can give her the tail, and he can grow that back. What you can apparently never grow back are the pair of balls that you once had when you were in the Marines, but until you do, go semper find yourself another cousin to make miserable, because I am fucking sick of it! Just so you're aware, we have now officially moved the Yelling About Mixed Martial Arts live stream off of Vitz King's channel and onto this channel where it belongs. You can also catch it on Twitch at twitch.tv/YAMMA show, so view on the platform of your choice. We watch the fights live along with you guys, we talk MMA, and we make some of the dumbest jokes imaginable, even by Florida standards. I might be doing some solo streams down the line, just chatting about the MMA news of the day, so tune in and holler at your boy. Oh, and all that stuff about my cousin Jerry, that was just jokes. We are totally cool. His wife is a hoe, though. Fuck you, Beth.